Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Shereen. I'm an interior designer from New York City and I am at a client's home today talking to you a little bit about this work from home situation and what this is looking like for people and their multifunctional spaces. Business owners might have their own storefronts and retail stores, but at home it never really shuts off and they have to get back to work even in these environments. So I thought it would be fun to show you one of the spaces that is being used as a multi-purpose space. That's one of the trends for 2022. And multi-purpose spaces basically means that we live in a confined area and we have to create a dedicated workspace and maybe a sleep space when people come visit and maybe a place for our families to grow and expand as that happens. So basically what I'm saying is we're turning the guest room into the everything room. And this is an example of it. This room bleeds over in right from the entryway. And so we have a lot of really creative storage tactics and ideas out in the entryway, like using a dresser instead of just using a regular console or some sort of side table. The great thing about the dresser is if you're actually pushing some sort of product and you need that storage, you can have that closed storage. A lot of dressers these days are coming with deeper and longer drawers. And that means that you can put things, if you are a candle company or if you're selling glasses or something like that, you can actually put that smaller equipment in the front. And we all know that the front entryway is a tricky space because you always have things coming in and coming out, and this is a way to kind of conceal and hide some of that and still be able to get things that are coming in and out of the house on a regular basis and having a dedicated space for it. This guest room is painted a nice warm color. I always suggest that people use skin tones or some type of skin tone color for a bedroom or a place where people are going to sleep. It depends on the client. My client in particular likes really moody, kind of like cave-like spaces. So we were able to do 2 layers of window treatments in here. We did the actual curtains that you see on the outside, and then we also did some custom cellular blinds inside that are blackout, and then that way they can get just as much light as they want and then conceal the light when they don't want to have any light coming out into the room. Their space is unique as they have a window AC on the particular window where this light is, so their shade stops just a little bit shy of that AC, and then they have the option to pull the blind over or back. This also was a really tricky window to dress because you have your radiator beneath it, which has a beautiful radiator cover that just goes with the whole modern, aesthetic of the molding in this space. But the window is crushed up against the corner, so there's lots of creative ways to dress windows, and in this one in particular I chose to just do a finial on the outside wall and to use 1 panel instead of 2. I usually do 2 curtain panels to make sure that we can pull them across. With curtain panels you want to source so that you have at least 1.5 times the size of the window. So if you have a 3-foot window, you want to have about if you have a 3-foot window, then you'd want to have at least 4.5 feet worth of curtain in order to cover that space. So that's like 52 inches or so. So that might be 3 panels of curtains depending on where you're getting your panels from, and then that way you make sure that you can totally cover it. So we have double coverage here, both in the light blocking or the blackout curtains as well as the blackout blinds, and they can alternate and have multiple different ways in order to have light coming into their space. The sofa that's back over here is comfortable and firm, which is a great space for you to work on. You can definitely get things done and accomplished on it, but it has a secret, which is it's a pull-out. So if this room and when this room needs to convert into an actual guest room, you can still be able to access that. Usually with layouts, I wouldn't put a desk up against the wall. I love to pull desks off the wall a little bit and put them in the center of the room. Depending on the size of your space, you may not be able to do that. In this particular space, the desk is pushed up against the wall, but you're still in a power position in that your seat is facing the door, so you never want to put your back to the door. That's just not a good power play as far as offices go, but this way you can see whomever's coming in and out of the space very, very easily. Last but not least, you'll notice the colors in here are kind of a darker, more masculine theme. This just happens to be a men's office that I designed for, but there are some cute and fun playful elements like this super adorable cat pillow, which is really, really cute. They are cat people and I love this pillow. I think that it's just a really fun and quirky way to tie in the client's aesthetic. The other thing in this space is their side table. They have an incredible side table that I love. It is adjustable, so you can use it to sit at a lower sofa, you can use it to sit a little bit higher, you can adjust the height almost to the point where if you were going to stand and lean over it, but it just makes it much more multi-purpose and multifunctional. As we're talking about multifunctional spaces, it can be used in here on this lower sofa, and it can be used out in their kitchen if they wanted to use it next to some of their bar stools, for example. Some other focuses in creating a work from home space is to just make sure that you have some sort of greenery and life. We added these accent plants in the window. There aren't a ton of windows in this room, there's only one. So for us to be able to bring some of the greenery in and make sure that it can stay alive, this was kind of the best place to put it. And I think that it just adds another element of life to the space that's really important. Some other things of note is the custom desk build in the corner. This was based off of a piece that the client originally owned. We actually just customized it a little bit by adding some epoxy resin and converting a dining table into a perfectly sized desk for that particular corner. I think when you're trying to convert to any kind of space into a work from home space, the desk is important, the chair is important, and you want to make sure that you have that comfort because you're going to be spending significant time there. So this was a great way to infuse that. Outside in the entryway, you walk into a very welcoming space with a lovely new rug. We repurposed the dresser from the client's bedroom over to the front. Don't be afraid to use your furniture in different spaces. By bringing this dresser over, they have deeper pockets, and we actually put shoe organizers inside of them so that they can store a few of their shoes there, even though they have a really great coat closet. For the coat closet, not only did it go through a paint transformation, but we updated the hardware on there and the hinges. I just find that this gives like a little bit of jewelry to the space and kind of a twinkle to the area. I thought it worked really well over here, and I love to paint not just the doors, but the trim the same color. And I think it just really adds something nice. You can see how the place looks under candlelight as well. We did style the entryway and the additional like coat hooks and hangs for all of the miscellaneous things that the client might have, so that you can see. As far as leaving on the way out, you can see the beautiful mirror there where you can give yourself one final check on the way out of the door. Not everything works out perfectly in design. The light fixture that we were originally replacing here actually was super duper large. The measurements on the site were off. And so when we received it and mounted it, we realized that it was not going to work. And we ended up swapping it out for this other fixture, which is the more semi-flush mount Sputnik. And I think that this is a beautiful piece. Credit to the client for calling out something similar. And then we went back and sourced this specific one for the space. They are super happy with it. And this is our all the way up Washington Heights design that we just recently finished. Thank you for spending some time chatting with us about it. Thank you for being here. You could have been anywhere on YouTube, but you chose to be with me, and I appreciate that. I'm thankful for you, and I'll see you next time, which is probably not next Thursday, but it's going to be soon. I'm working on it. I'll see you then.